It is another day of heavy rain across parts of central and eastern Kentucky. We'll track what's out there and what's yet to come in just a moment.
A man charged with sexually abusing boys with his twin brother entered guilty pleas this morning to multiple crimes.
And for the first time, we are seeing a Mercer County teenager who is accused of killing his high school classmate as he appears before a judge.
This is WKYT News at 4.
Welcome to WKYT News at 4. Andrea Walker and Amber Philpott reporting rounds of showers and thunderstorms are back in the region, and they'll stick around for at least a little while.
This is a live look now at downtown Lexington, and much of this past month has been on the stormy side, and that looks to kick back in for the next couple of days. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Yeah, we've had those rounds of showers and storms on and off as expected through the better part of the day, putting down, shocker here, heavy rains across many areas. Tropical looking sky right now across most of our region. This is a live look across the Hamburg Pavilion area in Lexington, and you've got the humidity that is off the charts. It's 77 degrees. Humidity is at 82%. That is straight out of Florida. Winds coming out of the southwest, 13 miles per hour. What we're looking at locally, showers and some thunderstorms that are out there across many areas, winding down compared to what we had a few hours ago. So as we go through the next few hours, things are at least improved compared to where we have been. I-64 eastbound, a little rain across the Mount Sterling area, southeastern Kentucky, getting in on some heavier rains now from Hyden through Hazard over toward the Whitesburg area. London, Corbin, back into Somerset, Whitley City, and Monticello. Things are looking a little better compared to what we had earlier. Lexington area, still a lot of clouds out there. Sprinkle or two. A lot of the rains across central Kentucky beginning to shut down. But look at the thunderstorms going up into western Kentucky, where some areas are working on 6 inches of rain on the day, coming on the heels of some folks picking up better than 10 inches last week. Flash flood warnings are out into western Kentucky. That future radar is not picking up on that little band of thunderstorms that is out there into western Kentucky. We'll see what happens with that. But a lot of the action, at least over the next few hours, begins to wind down. We'll come back and track more storms in a few minutes.
Chris, thank you. A Lexington man charged with sex crimes against children admits he's guilty.
Investigators say 78-year-old Jerry Cassidy and his twin brother Jack abused the victims back in the 1970s when they were Boy Scout leaders. WKYT's Victor Puente is outside the Fayette County Court complex with the latest on the case. It's our top story at 4.
This morning's guilty plea came more than 45 years after these crimes began. Both of the Cassidy twins have now pleaded guilty to multiple counts of sexual abuse. Today, Jerry Cassidy pleaded guilty to 9 counts of sexually abusing young boys in the 1970s, as well as possessing child pornography. His twin brother, Jack, pleaded guilty to 9 different counts back in October and was sentenced to 20 years in prison. That's the maximum allowed by law. Jerry's guilty plea was postponed several times because of his failing health. Today, he had difficulty understanding the judge's instructions and had to have his attorney sign his documents because he couldn't use his hands. The attorney for the 78-year-olds said they are extremely remorseful for the abuse that happened while they were Boy Scout leaders. He said they're both also aware that they'll likely die in prison.
But they both pled guilty because they did not want the victims to have to testify down here in Fayette Circuit Court, which would have been very humiliating for them and for the victims.
Cassidy's sentencing is being postponed until a pre-sentencing hearing can take place. It's tentatively scheduled for September 2nd, but Fred Peters said it could be pushed back. In Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
As part of the plea deal, the Cassidys agreed to forfeit their home on Mason Headley Road. That's where many of the crimes took place.
For the first time, we are getting a look at a Mercer County teenager accused of killing his classmate. A grand jury indicted 16-year-old Trent Easterling as an adult. This morning, he made his first court appearance. Police say he shot 17-year-old Tristan Cole back in April and left his body in a rural part of the county. Cuffed and wearing an orange jail-issued sweatshirt, the teen kept quiet during his arraignment. His attorney entered a not guilty plea on his behalf. Two other classmates are also charged in this case. We'll have more on their court appearances today on WKYT News at 5. The Franklin County Sheriff says a confrontation over stolen car parts led to a shooting.
It happened early this morning on Cherry Lane, south of I-64 near US 127. Deputies say it started when the suspect, who's been identified as Brian Pulliam, stole car parts from another man. They tell us that man located his stolen parts outside of a residence Pulliam was staying at. When the victim went to confront Pulliam, deputies say he pulled out a handgun and fired at least one shot at the victim. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Pulliam was arrested a short time later in a wooded area near the house.
We've been dealing with him over the last couple of days since the original theft there and some other issues. He also had a warrant for contempt of court out of Franklin District Court for a failure to pay fines.
Pulliam has been charged with one endangerment and fleeing or evading police, among other charges. We are working on a number of other stories for you, starting on WKYT, starting at 4:30.
Sam Dick joins us now from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Hello, Sam.
Good afternoon. Next month marks 10 years since the crash of Flight 5191 here in Lexington near Bluegrass Airport, and preparations are underway now to commemorate that occasion. The event will follow the same template as the 5-year anniversary with speakers and music, but the real goal is to bring the community and the families together to honor the lives of those lost. 49 crew members and passengers died that day. We will hear from a man who's been instrumental in organizing the event. That's coming up at 5:30. Canines and handlers from more than 20 police agencies in 3 states are in Lexington right now. They're running through 3 days of exercises and obstacles for certification from the U.S. Police Canine Association, which gives out certifications once a year. Officers say it helps and it's often necessary when they're prosecuting criminals.
When your records are subpoenaed to court for a canine apprehension or a narcotics find, you have to prove that your canine is trained and reliable and certified.
Runs through tomorrow. Officers from Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio are taking part in the regional testing. That's a quick look at some of the news in progress. Andrea and Amber, back to you.
Now to some stories making headlines across the nation at 4. Former President George W. Bush is urging Americans to remember their common ideals as a mean of bridging divisions.
The former president joined President Obama in speaking at a memorial service today for 5 Dallas officers killed last week. He told the crowd Americans know we have one country and don't want the unity of grief and fear, but hope.
At our best, we know we have one country, one future, one destiny. We do not want the unity of grief, nor we want the unity of fear. We want the unity of hope, affection, and high purpose.
President Obama said the 5 slain officers shared a commitment to something larger than themselves. President Obama has argued that despite the heated public outcry of this past week, the country is not as divided as it may seem.
Bernie Sanders formally endorsed Hillary Clinton this morning, just 2 weeks shy of the Democratic National Convention.
The support could give her a boost to maintain her lead over Donald Trump, which is slipping in the national polls. Weijia Zhang reports now from Capitol Hill.
Hillary Clinton will make an outstanding president, and I am proud to stand with her today. Thank you all.
Hillary Clinton waited months to hear those words, an endorsement from former rival Bernie Sanders. The pair campaigned in Portsmouth, New Hampshire on Tuesday morning.
I can't help but reflect how much more enjoyable this election is going to be now that we are on the same side.
Trump reacted to Sanders' support of Clinton with a series of tweets saying the Vermont senator has totally sold out to crooked Hillary Clinton.
Republicans are keeping Clinton's use of a private email server in the news. On Tuesday, they criticized U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch for accepting the FBI's recommendation not to charge the former Secretary of State.
You made a bad situation worse by saying, I'm going to do whatever they recommend, even though I don't know what the recommendations are.
Lynch repeatedly said she wouldn't discuss specifics of the FBI's investigation.
Your refusal to answer questions regarding one of the most important investigations of someone who seeks to serve in the highest office in this land is an abdication of your responsibility.
The latest national polls show the email controversy is among the reasons Clinton's lead over Trump has dipped to 3 points. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Donald Trump tells the New York Times he has narrowed his list of vice presidential candidates to 2 people and that no one knows who those 2 people are.
It's Prime Day for Amazon, how Walmart is taking on the online retailer, coming up in Money Watch.
And a recent study shows one type of vehicle has poor performing headlights. The details ahead at 4.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Welcome back. Your Starbucks barista might be a little extra perky today. That begins today's Money Watch.
All store workers and managers at company-run stores will get a 5% raise starting in October. The world's largest coffee chain will also double its yearly stock reward to hourly employees who have worked at company-operated stores for at least 2 years. Walmart is taking on Amazon today. Amazon's annual Prime Day promises a host of deals and discounts on electronics and other goods. Well, now Walmart will offer its own bargains plus free shipping with no minimum purchase. Amazon Prime members already get free 2-day shipping on many items.
The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety is shining a light on poor performing headlights.
Brooke Silva Braga takes a look at the test results.
Diane Meyer has no complaints about her 2016 Nissan Rogue.
This is the 3rd Rogue we've had. We've never had a problem with it.
But the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety says it's one of many 2016 and 2017 small SUVs with poor performing headlights.
We tested 21 different makes and models, and of those, not a single one received our highest rating of good. There were 4 that were acceptable, so our 2nd highest rating, and then all the rest were either marginal or poor.
The IIHS tested visibility on straightaways and curves. Here, an acceptable rated Mazda CX-3 lights up more of the road than a poor rated Honda HR-V. But comparison shopping is hard. Car makers offer a dizzying mix of headlight options, and new technology like lights that turn don't always lead to better performance.
For drivers who already own one of the vehicles with a poor rating, there's a simple and free way to make your headlights more effective.
One thing we would encourage everyone to do is use their high beams as much as possible.
Of course, that only works when there's no oncoming traffic. Despite the report, Meyer is satisfied with the lights on her Rogue.
I don't like to drive at night, and I didn't see a problem with the headlights at all.
Brooke Silva Braga for CBS News, Old Bridge, New Jersey.
I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about at Keeneland today, preparing for Concours de Elegance, a preview when we return here on WKYT.
Showers, thunderstorms back in the Bluegrass State. Up next, we'll track a stronger cold front into town later this week. Stay with us.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Yet another below normal temperature day across central and eastern Kentucky. If you're playing along at home, for many of us, that is 4 in a row. We'll take it and run with it. Hitting into the heart of summertime could be a whole lot worse around here. Now, today's numbers obviously are cooler because of all the rain that we've had. A lot of mid and upper 70s into central and eastern Kentucky. Western parts of the area still 80 degrees or better, low 70s where it is raining right now, but boy, it is air you can wear out there. Humidity's way, way up there. So far, since yesterday, we've picked up into parts of the Bluegrass region some local 1-inch amounts. Southwest side of Lexington, getting into parts of Nicholasville, Jessamine County over toward Harrodsburg, a little better than 1 inch in a couple of spots. Let's broaden that view out a little bit, see what else we can find. Western Kentucky, since midnight, parts of, I believe, McLean County out here, 6 inches of rain since midnight. Some of these same areas in Western Kentucky have picked up between 10 and 14 inches of rain in the past week. Absolutely incredible numbers. Southeastern Kentucky, heavier rains yesterday. You're getting in on the act again today. Defender radar estimates bordering on 2 and 3 inches so far over the past couple of days. Summertime in the Bluegrass State over the past 3 years. This is the 4th year in a row now where it has been wetter than normal. Guess if you have a garden, you can't really complain unless it's a little too much rain. Southern, southeastern Kentucky, still a little isolated stuff trying to creep into southern parts of Whitley County. Get into the hazard area. Jackson with some heavier rains. I-64, more spotty stuff, and that continues into parts of central Kentucky as of now. Let's look back to the west. Those areas that have been hard hit by greater than 5 and 6 inches of rain today, getting it again. But as we go through tonight into tomorrow, still the threat for a scattered thunderstorm or two. But notice this cold front that is off to our west that will slowly slide toward the east and will be into town as we go deeper into the week. Short-term forecast heading into the day tomorrow. It's a tricky temperature forecast because outside of any shower or thunderstorm, you could be upper 80s to near 90. You get some rain, you're going to be a lot cooler than that. But as we go through the next 3 days, the 3-day threat track showing the potential for some showers and thunderstorms. Then we watch on Thursday as a strong cold front makes its way into the area with the possibility of some afternoon strong thunderstorms that would carry us into Thursday night. What'll happen then, front will put the brakes on, allowing for a little wave of low pressure to bring more in the way of some locally heavy downpours into town Friday into at least the first part of Saturday. Temperatures through this period still, though, fighting the heat back to the west of us. Let's check in now with Officer Don to see how traffic is.
Well, no collisions on the south side of town. We're working one downtown at Vine and Mill. That is a non-injury collision. It's blocking a lane. Intersection's not too crazy this time of the day, so traffic's getting past it. Now, we still have the construction project on Todd's Road that's happening, and on the outer loop of the circle around Versailles Road with slowdowns there. Drive times to Nicholasville, we're still okay, less than 15 minutes. To Winchester on 64, no problems. Now back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Don. It's an annual event showcasing over 130 of the finest collector vehicles in the country, from antiques to future classics.
Deanne Stevens is out and about today with more on the Keeneland Concours d'Elegance. Hi, Deanne.
Good afternoon, guys. We are here at Keeneland preparing for a big weekend out here. Concours d'Elegance. Ron, what do we have here? What are we showing off?
1965 300L.
And you brought this out here to Keeneland today. Folks can see it out here on Saturday. Tom Jones with us.
Hey, how are you?
Great. How are you?
Thanks for being here.
This is always a fantastic event.
Number 13. Hard to believe.
It is. And you guys keep cranking them out, all for a wonderful cause. We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Absolutely.
What is Concours d'Elegance?
It is a wonderful car show out here at Keeneland on Saturday. Bring the family. We've got all kinds of food, some fantastic cars to look at. Make a day of it. We've got park benches. It's going to be a great day.
Oh, and it's always beautiful out here. Lena is with us. Lena, what did you bring today?
I brought a 1957 300 C Chrysler.
Now, do you always make sure that your outfits match your car?
Well, not always.
But today you did, right?
This is a special car that belonged to one of the executives of Chrysler. Wow. And we have a medallion here that is one of a kind. This was special made. They special made this for the Chrysler car. And it's a one of a kind.
Well, you look beautiful driving it, honey.
Well,
I love it. I bet you do. I bet you do. Concours d'Elegance benefiting the Kentucky Children's Hospital. That's really what this is all about. Beautiful, fast cars, but beautiful what you guys do for the Children's Hospital. Connie, tell us about it.
Thank you so much. We do have a 4-day event that we do for the concourse and for the Children's Hospital. All the proceeds benefit the Children's Hospital, and they do wonderful works there, and it's just, you know, wonderful that we're able to, you know, donate and provide, exactly, to give back to the community.
You got a big party Friday night?
We do. It's the Hangar Bash. It's Wings and Wheels Hangar Bash. It's going to be at the DGY Hangar, which is off Hangar Drive.
How do folks get tickets?
They can go online or they can buy tickets at the door. They're $75.
Okay, check that out online. And I got to show you a few more cars. What's this one?
It's a 1956 Austin Healey 100.
It is beautiful, and so you can close it. You wear goggles driving it?
With the windshield down, the goggles, if you're going over 35 miles an hour, you have to wear them, basically.
Wow, that makes sense, I guess. You got to come see some of these beautiful vehicles out here this weekend for Concours d'Elegance. Now, coming up at 4:50, how you yourself can win. You see that car over there? Yeah, that's a beautiful Porsche. You can win it. We're going to tell you how you can do that when we return here on WKYT. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
The important role water plays in keeping your weight under control. That's ahead in Better Living.
Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $15 million, and tomorrow's Powerball jackpot is $311 million.
It's Brian. Now it's time for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. We have a food recall to pass along today. Continental Mills is recalling its Krusteaz Blueberry Pancake Mix. The company says the blueberry part of the mix is made with a small percentage of flour that was recalled by General Mills over possible E. coli contamination. If you have mix made between April and June, you can call the company's consumer relations team for a refund. So far, the company says no illnesses have been reported. There may be an important factor to consider if you're obese, and it's not food or exercise, it's water. Michigan researchers say people with a higher body mass index are more likely to be inadequately hydrated. The reverse is also true. More research is needed to determine why the link exists. And women who have nerves cut during breast cancer surgery are much more likely to develop chronic pain. Doctors sometimes cut the nerves during surgery. Risk factors for developing chronic pain include younger age and radiation therapy. Up to 60% of breast cancer surgery patients may develop chronic pain. Now let's head to Chris for another check of the weather.
Yeah, dealing with a lot of low clouds out there, kind of a tropical sky across central and eastern Kentucky, and some scattered showers and thunderstorms that are lingering, though the heavy stuff that we had earlier in the day now beginning to go by the wayside. We look at those 4 live sky cams. Notice into central Kentucky, the Frankfort area, we've been drier a little longer, thus upper 70s. Look at Jackson, 72 degrees, with more in the way of some fog and low clouds. Still some showers into southeastern Kentucky. Many of us will have a mainly dry evening, but this is a sign of another soggy pattern that is loaded for bear again.
I got lucky today. I missed it.
Were you
Yeah.
inside while it was raining?
I was. I was very lucky.
I was coming to work in the rain, so I had to run in here.
I'll probably get caught tomorrow. You know.
I know. I can't do anything with my hair on a day like
Oh,
this.
honey. The news is just now getting started. Here's Sam, Dick, and Amber Philpott with what we're working on at 4:30.